Coming up on Motorhead Garage, we have an electric vehicle that's fun, safe, and affordable, and it plugs into a regular 110 outlet. Too good to be true? Nope, and it's coming up.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, we're always telling you about cool things for UTVs like this one, ATVs, motorhomes, trucks, passenger cars. And all these vehicles are great as long as you have traction. Of course, traction is king. If the wheels are spinning, you're not going anywhere. Now, Carl, until now, you've had those traction ramps with the teeth. You can put them under the tire, but they spit out as soon as you start spinning the tires. Shovels, the other option. Or you're waiting for a tow truck for hours or days if they come to where you are. And you found all this to be true, so you came up with a solution. It's called Traction. How does it work?
Basically how it works, you take the steel piece, put it on top of your tire, you run a ratchet strap through it, through the rim, ratchet it tight, and when you start to drive, it grabs and moves you forward. You can get going again.
Simple as that. We'll talk about the installation in a minute. Let's talk about the construction. How durable is this?
Well, this is 4 pounds of steel. It's heavy duty, it won't break.
And the straps you're using?
Straps we're using are 12,000 plus braking strength. They're about as strong as you're going to get for straps. They work well. You just have to be careful. You don't have any places in your wheel system that can grab and tear the strap, and you should be fine.
And you've got a few different models here. So what kind of vehicles are we covering here?
Okay, we're covering super single semi-trucks. We got a special strap for that one. Then we got the semi-truck, the regular rim for 1125 and a half, 1124 and a half tires. It's got triple thick sewn through where it goes through the rim. Then we have the one for the SUVs, half tons. It's got 48-inch strap, 2 inches wide. Then we have the little gripper, which you can use on front-wheel drive vehicles, ATVs, all other vehicles like that.
And we talked about the other ways to get unstuck. And the old traction ramps, those are big and bulky, and they're hard to take with you. These fold up nice and small.
Well, this is a little 9x9 box. It's easy to take along. It weighs 12 pounds. Throw it underneath your seat. It's never like it's going to be in the way at all. It's simple.
This is in use all over Canada and the U.S. And who's out there using them?
A lot of guys that go ice fishing, hunting, semi-truck drivers, off-road type vehicles, they're all using these vehicles. Guys that get stuck in the back lane, garbage trucks, all that type of industry use them. Truck drivers have to worry about electronic logs now. This will help alleviate waiting for that, wasting time, having to pay overtime to the drivers. They can get going again right away.
Also, some folks using specialty vehicles have ordered the Traction as well.
Fire trucks, school buses, all these emergency vehicles, ambulances, it's a great thing to have with you.
You don't just have to listen to Carl. He invented a thing. You can listen to the folks that are actually using Traction. CB lives in Manitoba, and Traction has gotten CB out of trouble a couple of times. 5 out of 5 stars there. Glenn Ward purchased 2 of these about a month ago and has already used them twice to get himself moving forward. He's a trucker, and he says these things work great. And Ricky Porter says these really work. Hands down, the best tool for getting your semi-truck unstuck. Such a simple concept, but amazing. All right, installation couldn't be simpler here, Carl. Let's take a look over here on the truck. I guess before we get to the installation, let's talk about the construction here. This is the big gripper. So the webbing on this is extra special. It's not a standard ratchet strap.
We got a stronger than normal webbing. It's over 12,000 pounds tearing. We got the sides here for helping with strength on the side tears.
And the block on here, this is something folks were asking for, and you delivered.
Yeah, we have a new block now we put between the spokes on the rims. So if the strap does slip, it won't cut, and it makes it stronger. If not, if your rims spokes are too close together, I would suggest you cut this block down lengthwise a bit to make it narrower so that it will fit between.
All right, and let's talk about putting it on here. I'll let you do the honors here. You throw it over the top here, and you're going to thread this through. And by the way, you don't have to just rely on us. You can find videos on your website, and these come with instructions as well. I've done it, and if I can handle a ratchet strap, you can handle a ratchet strap, believe me.
Put your block between the spokes on the rim here, like this. Pull your ratchet in tight. Make sure the block's still in the right place. Then you should be good to go.
And that's it. And then you mentioned if it's a lower profile tire, you can just keep this open like that if you need to, and that'll keep it from contacting the ground as well. I know a lot of folks may say, won't that scratch my rims if I put the ratchet right against it? But some of the models of instant traction actually come with a pad as well.
Yes, some of the 2-inch models do come with a pad, and that should solve a lot of that problems if you're worried about scratching your rim.
And then this is, the instant traction's used, you're not driving down the road with this.
No, you just get out. If you only have to move 5 feet, you take it off. It's just to get you out, don't drive with it.
And believe me, that is not going anywhere. It's instant traction. You can find it at instatraction.com. It is patented and it is made in North America. It's a great insurance policy. Get one for your vehicle. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. Let's talk about all the things you take with you in your car every day. You might have your cell phone, a laptop, personal protection tool, something like that. They're worth a lot. You don't want to leave them in the car because you run the risk of theft. Of course, there are safes out there that you can use, but someone might break into your car and steal your safe. So Boosted Safe comes along. Skylar, you came up with this idea, and I think it's brilliant. How is this different from a typical safe you might buy to put in your car?
Sure. So we've got the Boosted Safe here. One of the main things that's different about it is its size. So you can carry full-size laptops, camera gear, personal protection, all sorts of things in here. And that's a big difference about our safe than others. Other safes, maybe you can just get maybe your phone or a wallet.
It's definitely not going to fit a laptop.
It's not going to fit a laptop.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot more space here, but it's also, it disguises in plain sight. So it turns into a booster seat. You got this reversible cover. You're showing the black side, I'm showing the blue side here. And it also has these clips. This is probably the most important part, is every car since 2002 has what's called ISOFIX connection points in the back seat of their car. They're these metal clips that were designed for booster seats and car seats, but we've taken that technology, embedded it inside of our safe. So these safes clip into the back seat of your car, can't be removed unless you are able to use the combo, open the safe, and remove it.
Gotcha. So folks may not be familiar with those ISOFIX clips if you don't have a car seat.
Yeah.
But this is brilliant, and it's a perfect way to hide everything there. So I know the ISOFIX latches are the same distance apart in every car, but are they the same depth?
So some vehicles have a little bit further down, a little bit deeper, so that's why we created the ISOFIX latches to be adjustable. You can adjust a shallow depth or a deeper depth depending on your preference.
How easy is it to install? It's just a matter of clipping it in, right?
Yeah, super easy. So you just take it right here. Every car has these metal clips in the back, and literally just clips in with a push of a button. Like, just slide it in like that.
And the only way to take it back out is to reach inside?
Reach inside, unclip it, and then you're out.
Very cool. Now, and nobody's getting away with that. Those ISOFIX clips are super strong. You said you've had people move a whole vehicle trying to pull one of these out.
Yeah, I've paid people to try to rip them out before. They'll be sitting there wrenching on the car, and it's wrenching on the safe, and it's rocking the car back and forth, and it's, you can't get them away. They're designed to withstand the G-forces of a car crash, and so if you think some criminal can, outmaneuver a car crash, then you're just wrong.
Well, so it's clearly durable, and let's talk about the security there. That is a manual lock on there, so it's a typical sort of combination lock that you would dial.
Yeah, so this one's got the combination lock. You can dial it up, you can switch up any combo you want, and then it also has a key. The version that you have has the electronic lock.
And for demonstration purposes only.
Yeah, so you've got,
there we go.
You've got the digital one, and then also this one has a fingerprint lock that also works.
Well, if you need something in a hurry, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
So we got both versions for people. Different people like different things. Some people like the ease of use of the electronic lock. Some people like just knowing that their battery's never going to die, and so they want the manual version. But we do have the key on this version and a key on this version if you ever got locked out for any reason.
You can disguise it as a booster seat. How comfortable is it actually? You have 4 kids.
I've got 4 kids.
So you've tested this?
Yeah, so 2 of my kids are old enough to use booster seats, and they use them. One of them uses them every single day. She loves it. It's her favorite seat to sit on. We've gone on road trips up to 3 hours before without complaint, so it works out well.
I complain after 3 hours in a car, so I can only imagine, if you made it 3 hours, you're in good shape there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. What's the story behind it? How did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, so in college, I had a lot of video production gear, and I needed a safe way of storing it, so I resorted to chaining a safe to the trunk of my car. And and that kind of worked, but it was kind of clunky, and if I ever wanted to use the space, it was rough. So I kind of iterated, started playing with different ideas, eventually had my son, and I saw this ISOFIX connection points on the back of his booster seat, and it kind of clicked. They were a fixed distance apart in every vehicle, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is something that I could use for my safe idea. Made a lot of sense, and I integrated that into a prototype. A few years later, I had an incident on the freeway where someone was being rough on the freeway, and I eventually found out that that person was wanted for murder, which inspired me even more to create the safe so that people can keep their items safe and keep their personal protection on themselves. Everyone deserves to not only have their items protected, but they deserve to be protected themselves and be able to have protection with them in the car at all times.
Well, clearly it's something you derive from a need and something you really wanted to have. What about folks that don't have the ISOFIX? Maybe they have an older vehicle, or maybe they want to take the safe inside. They want to take the boosted safe inside with them.
Sure.
When they go in for the evening or something like that.
Yeah, sure. You want to take the boosted safe into your house. You don't have the ISOFIX connection points in your bedroom, but you do have a bed post. So you can take this cable, just a braided cable. You know, say this, my arm is the bed post. You wrap it around your bed post, and then the safe has a latch in it. So once the lid is closed, that locks this in place, and so now it's, you know, tied to a banister, or tied to a bedpost, or any kind of pole.
This is a fantastic idea, a great way to keep your valuables safe. You can latch, stash, and dash with the Boosted Safe. You find it at boostedsafe.com. Stay tuned because we've got more Motorhead Garage and more great products coming up next.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Shade Wagon studio.
The PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week is a repeat performer. It's Jeff Black, and we've seen him before. We saw him last year, in fact, right after we came across one of his amazing Jeep builds at the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Well, Jeff and his team at Truckers Warehouse are at it again. Their latest restoration is a 1983 CJ7. It's a frame-off restoration, and they've reworked the entire drivetrain. Jeff told me they love the inline six-cylinder 258, so they dropped in a new crate engine. They also love the T5 manual shift transmission, so they stayed with that. And the hood and the roll bar are original, but almost all of the rest of the sheet metal is brand new. Jeff wanted to improve the stance, and a 2-inch lift along with 33-inch white letter tires did the trick. Man, the thing looks great. An all-new dash and period-correct Levi seats make this build a masterpiece. If you make it to the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, say hello to Jeff Black and congratulate him on being our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week.
My name is Tony Gemza. We built this 1970 CUDA at Creations by Gemza. We started with just a bare shell of a car, and the owner of the vehicle wanted it customized. So we said, okay, he wanted a modern Hemi, he wanted air conditioning, he wanted all the pro touring stuff. So we get into this build and we decided to cut the body off, we sectioned it, we channeled it, we did all the hot rod stuff to a muscle car body, which you don't see very often. And then about halfway through, we got the idea that we should go after the Riddler Award with the car. So the Riddler Award is at the Detroit Autorama. It's held by the Michigan Hot Rod Association. Well, since the 60s, this award has evolved into really high-end show cars. And for builders, it's just kind of a chase for them, you know, something to go after. The builders are the ones that always up the game. So every bit of the car is customized. The wheels are custom, all the billet stuff is one-off made. There's very little store-bought on the car. It's a two-seater car now. Some of the high points would be the custom one-off hood that we built out of steel. Inside the hood houses an air filter. So when you raise the hood, you don't see an air filter just, you know, onto the engine. The hood was actually designed around a 1973 Roadrunner hood, which is the owner's first car. It has all Motec electronics in it, which is something you don't see very often in muscle cars. So basically everything is ran through a laptop computer, makes 1,200 horsepower. You know, to me, it's like the ultimate package.
How did STEELE rubber help you with this build?
They helped out tremendously. So they custom tooled up, made parts for the windows, of course, the body of the car, the doors and all that got modified, and they helped with making rubbers for that. They helped out tremendously, and they're right in our backyard, so super convenient.
What kind of comments do you get when you're driving this thing or when people come to the shop to see it?
They just can't get over the car. They love the color. And that's funny because when we were doing the car, the owner said he wanted it green. And we laughed and said, yeah, most people don't like green, but now when people see it, they're like, oh, I love the color, which we think is kind of cool. But just the whole package, you don't see it very often, right? So you don't see a car that looks that way, the quality of it, so they're just in awe.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. And by Custom AUTOSOUND, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977.
Motorhead Garage is presented by DragonFireTools.com. And when it comes to electric vehicles, you can have one that's going to be fun, but it's not going to be affordable. You can have one that is safe, but it's not going to be fun. But there is an electric vehicle now, John, that has all three attributes. You can get it all in one package. What's it called?
This is the Draco Sports Track. It's an autocycle, an electric autocycle.
Okay, what's an autocycle?
It's a class of motorcycle that has seat belts, shoulder harnesses, a roll bar protection system. Keeps you safe.
All right, so what's the legality in the U.S.?
Most states say it's legal to drive with a standard driver's license and no helmets required because of the roll bar.
So you said 44 states?
44 states.
Basically your driver's license and you're good to go.
That's
all right.
correct.
The question everyone asks with electric vehicles, one, what's the top speed?
Top speed's about 90 miles an hour with this one.
That is moving. And then the second question they're going to ask, what's the range? How far can you go on a charge?
Range about 150 miles per charge.
Oh, really? Very, very cool. How long does it take to recharge them?
Well, that's where it gets interesting too. It plugs into any standard 120 volt outlet and gets a full recharge in about 8 hours.
So you don't need to buy any special
No
hardware for your
special
house?
hardware,
Okay.
no nothing. Just plug into any outlet.
Very cool. And the charge takes overnight, you said? 8 hours?
8 hours, yeah, roughly.
Good to go. Excellent. And another way you make this efficient, it has a hub motor on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's 95% efficient, you told me.
The hub motor is about 95% efficient. It has permanent magnets in there, so it's very efficient.
And another way you made this affordable, the running gear on the front. This stuff's off the shelf. So
It's
if
off
you have
the
an
shelf.
issue with it, yeah, what does this come from?
It's actually came from a Mustang 2.
Very cool. So you've achieved all that. Now I see this is in the prototype stage.
This is a prototype.
Yes, this is a one of a kind right now. So what's the next step?
Well, our next step actually is we're raising additional capital to move to production. We have an equity crowdfunding program going on. Information's on our website, and we would invite the average person to invest in this.
If you want to become an investor or if you want to get your hands on one of these when they start production, go to shockwavemotors.com.
Let me get the cruise control set here. All right. Well, you're going down the road. You turn the wheel to the right, turn the wheel to the left. You want two things to happen. First and foremost, you want the wheels to turn. Second, it would be nice if they would do it easily. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. It's all about the power steering pump. Have one right here on our cutaway. You can see it. What's going on? Well, you got a low pressure side coming in here, and then you're developing high pressure. How are you doing it? Well, right in here inside the pump as it spins around. This is an engine-driven pump. Now you can have several types. Right here on the first one down there, you have a rack and pinion. So you have a power steering pump going down to a rack and pinion. Old school cars, well, they used to use a gearbox like that, but you still had a power steering pump going down to it. You know, new cars, they have electric power steering pumps. You don't even have a steering pump anymore. But there's a few things you have to keep in mind if you do have a power steering pump. First of all, you could have a roller, a vane, a slipper type pump. There's all different types, but there's tight clearances inside that pump to make the massive amount of pressure. Now to test it, well, that's pretty simple. You can get you a gauge and you can go in line with the power steering pump on the high pressure side. Make sure it's a high pressure gauge. Crank up the vehicle, you see you got about 800 PSI there, that's a lot. But what you want to do is turn the wheel to the right or to the left. That'll generate that maximum pressure from stop to stop. Maximum pressure, you see it here on the gauge, it's going to jump up, it's going to skyrocket. 1400, you can develop about 1600 PSI. You can also deadhead the pump by closing it. You want to make that pressure, and that pressure has to be right, Len, but the fluid takes a beating in there as well.
It does. The fluid, and the thing of it is that you can't cheat and have a really heavy fluid in there, because heavy viscosity a lot of times provides you with that cushion, and it'll help the protection. But in this case, you can't do it. The pump has to be fast. You know, thin fluid is what you want here because you need your steering to be responsive. So what happens is the tendency for wear inside that pump becomes pretty great. So you really have to watch it and make sure that you're using all the good stuff in the power steering fluid to keep wear from occurring.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. This is a centrifugal pump called a vane pump. It's flinging around, and centrifugal force is sending these vanes out, and these vanes are running on this outside chamber. You can see some wear in there, right, Len?
Right, yeah, it's a metal on metal surface. The only thing providing the protection is the oil. That's it. So if it fails, the pump fails real quick.
And fluid is important, and so is adding a filter. If you have any kind of failure, let's say that rack and pinion or that gearbox blows into pieces, or your pump, you're setting metal around there, so it's a good idea to flush your fluid. Hey, this is a maintenance item as well. People should go in there and flush their fluid once in a while, right?
Yeah, you should. I mean, it is a maintenance item. Follow your recommended intervals for that, but yeah, it's a good idea.
Having steering is a must, but having power steering, well, that's even better. Make sure all aspects of your vehicle are operating at their best, and you can do that by going to amsoil.com.
Thanks to John Gardner and Len Groom, and a special thanks to you for tuning in this week. We're going to have more next week, so be sure to tune in to Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. So long.